Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
What's going on, everybody? Today is Thursday, October the 6th, 2022. And today I'm going to be talking to my tinfoil hat folks. Talking to y'all today. Listen, why is this going viral? That's what I want to know. Why is this girl with a microchip in her hand going viral? I don't know, but we going to find out. And one thing that I want y'all to keep in mind is when it comes to like eschatology and stuff like that, and we talk about the mark of the beast, is it going to come in the form of this microchip being implanted in your right hand? Or could the mark of the beast be something else? But anyway, I'm going to read this article from cbnnews.com. And as always, I'm going to leave a link to this particular article in the description below so y'all can read it for yourself and, make your own judgment. But we're going to read it right now. And we're going to listen to my judgment. All right, so let's go ahead and get into this article. The title is The Chip Girl. Woman's microchip implant in her hand goes viral. It says a woman from Las Vegas, Nevada has garnered more than 3 million followers on social media for showing what she can do with a microchip in the back of her hand. Burgundy Waller has called her husband a, quote, tech genius. She had a chip implanted in her hand a little more than 2 years ago. It serves as a key to the couple's mansion, the Daily Mail reports. Her husband programmed the chip for her. Waller is known as, quote, the chip girl in her TikTok videos. She shares what the chip can do, like unlocking doors, drawers, closets, and other storage areas throughout their lavish home just by touching them. So I guess this is a video. Let me see how long this video is.
I call myself Chip Girl because I have an RFID chip inside of my hand that unlocks things around our house. Today, somebody asked me what I can open with my hand. So I'm going to show you. This is also a
Oh yeah, fair use.
door that it opens. We've also got that door's a little bit harder to open, but we've got a snack cupboard. We've got another door that it opens. It also opens our bedroom door, as well as our office, as well as the drawers in our office. This is our nightstand, which can also be opened with a chip. Our closet is chipped. And this is really cool. We can chip all of the doors. Look at it. We can even lock up our towels. See? What the? I'll chip lock my makeup room. Chip guy has an even cooler chip. He's got a dual chip. And he can hold information like a website or a social media page. Okay, back to unlocking things. Here's another door that we can chip. This is another chip to get into our summer closet. And another door. We also chipped the gym. And the elevator. What the tech? Oh, whoops, it was already unlocked. Ta-da! We've also chip locked our gift wrapping room, which is a complete mess. We've also chippied the hallway and the cinema room. Oh, I almost forgot. We have these RFID vent safes. Each of the kids has their own, so they can hide their own treats and their siblings won't eat it. Chip Hope, I think there's more, but I'm running out of time. Chip Girl here, we got a techie house.
All right, y'all let me know what y'all think about that. I mean, see, that seems that seems pretty safe. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you just get the chip. You can access all of that stuff in your house. You ain't got to worry about nobody trying to hack into your stuff. People can't break into your house if they ain't got that chip in their hand. If you're the only person that got it, I don't know. I don't know. Let me just keep reading this because I'm about to trigger some of y'all out there. They're like, oh man, Alta gonna be the first one to get that mark. It continues. In one video, Waller contends that getting chipped means, quote, never having to carry or worry about losing her key. Because we know a lot of y'all ladies be, boy, y'all notorious for losing them keys, boy. I don't know what it is. Women love losing them keys. Y'all always looking for them keys. In another video, she reveals her husband had an even more advanced chip implanted in his hand. His chip can store information, including his social media accounts and websites. She also explained how another version of the chip could help her store her credit card information, which is something she says she wants. Quote, not fair. I have the old model. She joked in another video. My hand is only a key. Guess it's time for an upgrade, end quote. As CBN News reported in May, implantable chips in humans are not new, but for the last several years, the push to market them to a dubious population has escalated. A company in the United Kingdom has developed a new chip that allows you to pay the same reader, pay on the same reader as a credit card. When a person with an implanted chip wants to pay for a product or service using a card reader, they simply place their hand with the chip next to the card reader and the payment is made. While some companies have implanted smaller chip implants for internal company functions, the British Polish firm called Walletmore has says that last year it became the first company to offer them for sale to the general population, according to the BBC. Even though a little more than half of 4,000 people across the UK and the European Union told a survey last year they would consider having a chip implanted. They also brought up privacy and security issues. As CBN News has reported, potential privacy concerns are already being raised about the ongoing development of such technology and implantable microchips that are being injected into the hands of thousands of willing participants across Europe. Quote, there is a dark side to the technology that has a potential for abuse. Nada Kakabatse, professor of policy, governance, and ethics at Reading University's Henley Business School, told the BBC, quote, to those with no love of individual freedom, it opens up seductive new vistas for control, manipulation, and oppression. Dang, how many of y'all agree with that? Do y'all think that technology like this could open you up to be oppressed and manipulated? Do y'all think that certain technology like this could, it could open up the potential to be abused and to kind of control and manipulate people? Quote, and who owns the data? Who has access to the data? And is it ethical to chip people like we do pets? She asks. The result, she cautions, could be, quote, the disempowerment of many for the benefits of a few, end quotes. Critics are sounding an alarm about ongoing developments in tracking technology for humans. In addition, the ingestible pill with such tracking technology was created and approved in 2017 by the United States Food and Drug Administration, aka the FDA. The pill, which is intended to treat mental illness, is called Abilify My Sight. In an edited viral video of Pfizer CEO Albert Bourla talking about the technology involved with the tracking pill came to light during the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland in 2018. And the Burla praises the development of the biological chip embedded inside the pill that, when swallowed, dissolves into your stomach, sending a signal that the medication was taken. Wow, that is crazy. Legitimate questions remain about the future of this technology. For example, such a wireless pill be used could such a wireless pill be used one day by authorities to track other activities? Very, very good question. Very good question. I didn't even know they even had a pill that you can take and it'll dissolve and then it'll send back information basically saying that you've taken it. It's kind of weird. Social media users in May scorched Alibaba Group USA president J. Michael Evans after he told an audience at this year's World Economic Forum that his company was developing technology for consumers to measure their whole carbon footprint. Alibaba Group USA is a subsidiary of Chinese internet giant Alibaba. Quote, what does that mean? Evans asked. When they are traveling, how are they traveling? What are they eating? What are they consuming on the platform? So individual carbon footprint tracker. Carbon footprint tracker as surprise as a surprise reaction can be heard in a video coming from the audience. So yeah, so they want to see how much are you polluting, quote unquote, polluting the earth. So they want to track your every step. And y'all know China, man. China is one of them places to where they got a thing called a social credit score. So if you're a person who they deem is, not fit, I would say not fit, but I would just say it seems like that. Um, if it seems like that you are below what they deem as ethical, they keep track of you. So, for instance, if you're a type of person to where people may look at you and say, that guy, he's a jerk. That woman, she's just really hard to deal with. She's had bad encounters with people on a regular basis, and they keep track of that, and they're just like, okay, you just gonna keep building up this social credit score, so to where you might not get certain services at certain restaurants, or people may deny you use service to you. You may be watched more often by law enforcement and stuff like that. So, and yeah, that's actually a real thing. That's actually a real thing. They do have a such thing called a social credit score in China. The article continues, quote, stay tuned. We don't have it operational yet. This is something that we're working on, Evans added. There are There are clear implications beyond the functioning of simply being a quote platform for consumers to track their environmental impact. It's another high-tech method for human trafficking human behavior, and China is already widely known to be violating the human rights of its citizens with a social credit system of tracking. That's what I was just talking about. So the fact that the technology is coming from Alibaba, from the Alibaba group, is raising alarms. And if y'all don't know what Alibaba is, that is kind of like their version of Amazon. It's like the Chinese Amazon. You can get anything off of Alibaba. One Twitter user sounded an alarm about the idea, saying, quote, they are going to put a cap on on the carbon you can consume per day, and you will have to watch what you do to not go over it. They are going to force us to live like serfs, end quote. Conservative commentator J.D. Vance, who's running for a U.S. Senate seat in Ohio, also tweeted, quote, imagine flying a private jet to a conference of the world's most powerful people, then lecturing other people on their carbon footprint, end quote. Yeah, that is very ironic. Even now you got a lot of people talking about the Green New Deal and all of this stuff here, and they're talking about, oh, we got to watch how much carbon we're releasing into the atmosphere and how much pollution, and we want everybody to take electric trains and this and that, but then they're flying private jets from one state to the next. So instead of taking a 3 hour ride from one city to the next city, they'll hop in a private jet, which consumes more fuel and which burns more fuel than a car to go talk to people about how they need to lessen uh, their carbon emissions. They want to restrict you from using a certain amount of carbon while they're using way more carbon than you in the first place. You see what I'm saying? But here's the Christian's perspective. Oh, wait, hold on. I forgot. Let me read this part. Another user explained why so many people are concerned. Quote, because it isn't about the carbon footprint at all. End quote. All right, here's the Christian perspective. Sorry about people chipping their hands or authorities creating methods to track human behavior always spark biblical questions as well as privacy concerns. As CBN News reported on Friday, reported in February, the Bible's New Testament warns of the quote mark of the beast, key sign of the end times before Christ returns. But how can Christians recognize the mark when it becomes reality? In a recent video on YouTube, evangelist Ray Comfort examines that question by looking at Revelation 13, 6 and 17. Quote, he calls us all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive the mark on their right hand and on their foreheads, and that no one may buy or sell except the one who has the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. End quote. In the video, Comfort, the founder of Living Waters Publications and the ministry The Way of the Master, explains the mark is not a vaccine or a virus. Because a lot of people were saying that in 2020, with the vax was coming out and people was getting coronavirus, I was like, oh, that's the mark of the beast. And a lot of people ran amok with that, and people were saying that this is prophecy being fulfilled. And we know we had a lot of Hebrew Israelites talking about that was a sign of the 400-year prophecy was the vax. Telling people to take the vax was the sign of the 400-year prophecy of Deuteronomy 28 and 68. But people like Ray Comfort, he's just basically like, that's just not what it is. And me personally, I don't believe that no vaccine was going to be the mark of the beast in the first place. And I'm really skeptical about this chip. Let's go ahead and finish this article up. In a video, I'm sorry, I already read that part. Quote, and this is from Ray Comfort, but the scripture give us reason for the mark. It is for commerce. Those who don't have the mark will not be able to buy or sell. Quotes, end quote. The Bellflower, California-based preacher said, clearly that raises concerns about the microchip implants that could one day be used to control people's ability to buy and sell. That is the end of this particular article. Man. Well, and I know that one of the reasons why stuff like this goes viral, because a lot of people are so steeped in eschatology. People want to know exactly where we are when it pertains to the end times. And I mean, the Bible does tell us to be watchful, to be sober minded in these times, because we want to make sure that we do know the signs, and we want to make sure that we're prepared for the return of Christ. But the problem is that you got a lot of people who are conspiracy theorists, who don't even believe in the Bible, who don't hold to scripture at all, who will look at this and they'll run amok with it, especially with like social media, YouTube, and all of that stuff. People kind of use things like this to grift, but then you also got some people out there who may not just use, stuff like this to grift to the people. Some people are just one of these alarmists. Every time they see something, they try to tie it to some type of prophecy being fulfilled. Everybody wants to be prepared for when stuff, quote unquote, hits the fan. And a lot of people are running around here trying to prep and prepare because they believe that it's going to be total anarchy. The government's going to have like total control over everyone. So therefore, right now we need to build bunkers and we need to go get huge plots of land. So therefore, we can be prepared when the government comes and try to force people into buying or selling or something like that. But when it comes to me, when I look at stuff like this mark of the beast, um, or this microchip in particular, I have my concerns, but I know that God is faithful. You know what I'm saying? And God is going to protect his. You know what I'm saying? Like God is sovereign. And I don't think that God is going to judge you solely based on whether you get a chip implanted in your hand or not. I don't think that if you live in your life as a Christian, someone who sold off for Christ, and you're a person who has preached the gospel faithfully, and you've been faithful to the word of God, that if you go and get a microchip implanted in your hand, then that cancels all of that out and you're going straight to hell when Christ returns. I personally don't believe that. Um, but however, I think that when it comes to the mark of the beast, um, I don't think that it's going to be forced on people. I think that people are going to want this, and that is what's going to determine a person's walk with Christ. I believe that it's not going to be something that is going to be forced like a bunch of, uh, you know, what do you call it? Like military folks coming in with boots and helmets and AK-4, well, not AK-47s. They use like AR-15s and M16s now. They're not going to bust into your house and put your hand on the table and say, "Hey, you better put this chip in your hand or we're going to shoot." I don't think that that's what's going to happen. I think that it's going to be, and whatever the mark is, I mean, I look at the chip, but I don't really say that I can definitively say that this is the mark, because a lot of people said that the chip on the credit card was the mark of the beast when they was getting ready to roll that out. They was just like, "Oh, that's the mark of the beast." Then people were saying that they was going to put barcodes on people because there was like, I think at one time they had this technology saying that they was going to put like a little barcode on the side of your hand, and whenever you get ready to check out, you can just scan it, and you don't have to pull out your wallet and stuff. People said that that was going to be the mark of the beast. So therefore, when I look at this chip, I don't see that as being the mark. I believe that it's going to be people's thoughts and actions, which is going to signify the mark of the beast. I believe that it's going to be tied to a person's heart, not just the fact that they just can't buy and sell. I think that that the mark is going to also reveal the intent of that person's heart, you know. But that's why, again, I don't really try to give too much of my view on eschatology, because there's just so many different ways that you can interpret a lot of this information. That's why I can't, even back in the ancient Israelites day, when they had an idea of the coming of the Messiah. But when Jesus showed up, even the Pharisees, the guys who were supposed to be keeping the people of Israel in check, keeping them to basically leading them to the laws of God, to live holy and righteous lives, they even missed the mark. They even missed Jesus's coming. They totally rejected him. So that's why I'm just like, I'm real skeptical about just saying definitively what the mark is or what it looks like. But one thing I can tell you, just by reading the scripture and the passage, I believe that it's going to be tied to a person's thoughts and actions. You know, I don't think that a Christian's life or salvation is going to be in jeopardy because whether or not they get a chip implanted in their hand or not. I think it's the intent of the heart. But anyway, you guys let me know whether you agree or disagree. But yeah, that's about it for this particular video. And like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and leave a link to this particular article and the description below, and you guys can, like I said, you guys can go and read this for yourself. I always think it's pretty interesting when topics like this pop up, because I think it can spark some friendly debates, you know, especially some of you tinfoil hat wearers. But anyway, guys, as always, let me know what you think in the comment section below. And as always, like this video, rate it, share it, subscribe, hit that notifications bell so whenever I do go live, you guys will be the first to see it. And with that, you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you next time, Lord willing.